Unknowingly, if I enter the repeated values, the table should not take that value. That is the role of this unique key. Each column will have what data type. Like what data type I can store in each column. That is what I will call it as a table structure. So delete command will help me to delete the data that I have in the table. If you want to modify the data of the table, you will be using the update command. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the session 4 MySQL revision tour. Guys, in the last session we had discussed couple of queries, but in today's session the concept that I am going to discuss is very important if you want to become a major developer in SQL. Guys, so let's start the concept. What is that I have today? So I have SQL constraints. What is that SQL constraints is all about, sir? There are some of the rules that I will be imposing when I am creating the table. These constraints will help me to store a valid data. So in the absence of my knowledge, so guys, the query will help me to store the valid data. It will enhance the integrity of the data. So guys, what exactly are you speaking, sir? Yes, I will be explaining these points in detail one by one. So guys, let me start with the first one. What is that I have? I have unique key constraint. I have some couple of constraints. I'll be discussing that one by one. In that, the first one is unique key constraint. What exactly this unique key constraint is all about, sir? Please observe the query. I'm trying to create the table. What is that I'm trying to create? I'm trying to create the table. So guys, I have create table employee. This already you all know about it, right? So, but please observe here, I'm trying to create the column and this is the data type. This is the name of the column. This is the data type. Please observe that. So guys, for this column, I'm specifying unique key. I'm specifying unique key. What exactly it is all about? For the value that I am going to store in this column, all the values should be unique is what I am mentioning. Unknowingly, if I enter the repeated values, the table should not take that value. That is the role of this unique key. Suppose, imagine I have the table, right? So imagine I have the table. I'm entering the values to this column. I'm entering the values to this column. What is the name of this column? Encode is the column name. Encode is the column name. In this column, I should have only unique values. I should have only unique values. Suppose if the value is repeated, it will show me an error. So that is what you have to understand. That's what you have to understand. That's a main important point that you should remember. How do I make it unique? So by mentioning unique key. And also I have mentioned not null. So guys, this is again one more constraint. I'll be discussing that at the end, right? So right now you just have to remember, how do I specify unique key? What is the use of unique key? So that's what you have to understand. Moving on to the next constraint that I have. So what is the primary key? So what exactly the primary key constraint is all about? What exactly the meaning of primary key? First of all, please understand, if I make any column as primary key, it should satisfy two rules. What is that? It should satisfy two rules. The first one is it should not be null. It should not be null. And the second one, it should be unique. It should be unique. Suppose if the column data satisfy these two conditions, then only I will call that as primary key. Otherwise, it cannot be primary key. That is the point that you should remember. So fine, the same query that I've taken, right? So guys, I'm trying to make this column as a primary key. How are you making it? So guys, I'm just making it as primary key. So not null you have mentioned, you can also ignore it. I don't have to specify that. So you can ignore this not null. But if you mention, there will be no errors. But even if you ignore this, there will be no errors. But please remember, this is how I will make this column as primary key. This column as primary key. Suppose if I make this column as primary key, whatever the value that I'm entering, it should be unique and you cannot leave any any value empty. For example, imagine I have the table here, right? I'm entering the values to this column. This is the primary key. This is the primary key. I cannot leave it empty. I cannot leave it blank. That is the first condition. And the data, it cannot be repeated. So that is the two conditions it should satisfy. So then come back to this unique. Sir, if I give this two conditions, will it work like primary key? Of course it will work like primary key. Of course it will work like primary key, but you cannot use this as a foreign key. That is the one more option you have. So guys, that is what you have to remember. So as of now, of course it will work as a primary key. It will satisfy both the conditions, right? Unique as well as not null. It exactly works like a primary key, but this is how you will declare the primary key. That's what you have to remember. So what is the next one that I have? Check constraint. This is one of the beautiful constraint that we have. Please listen to me. What is that? We have the same table I've considered. So but here please understand, I have given, this is the column name, gross is a column name, this is the data type, this one is the data type. Check, the gross should be greater than 2000. Suppose, imagine I have a table, I'm trying to enter the value, okay? So the column name is gross. Whenever I'm entering the value to this column, the value should be greater than 2000. Value should be greater than 2000. Suppose if I enter 2000, it will not take. It should be greater than 2000. So it will show me an error. For example, I've already taken the admission for class 11, right? I'm trying to enter the details of the student. Suppose if I enter the age as 11, I will enter the age as 11. Will it be a valid data? No, right? So how do I check when I'm entering? So guys, this is how I check when I'm entering. Age should be greater than the entry criteria, whatever we have. So the same age I will give, and it will check and tell me, suppose if I enter less than that. That's what you have to remember. So guys, that's how the check constraint is working for all of you. Moving on to the next one that I have. So I have default constraint. What exactly this default constraint is all about? So let's say you have to take a test, right? So I will tell all of you that if you attend my class, 5 marks bonus for all of you in your first test. What is that? If you attend my class, I will give you 5 marks bonus for all of you. So I have to give 5 for everybody. Can I sit and enter 5 for everybody? No, I can't, right? What is the easiest way that I have? So I have something called default. So guys, what is that I can do? So here I can mention. So here, what is the column that I have? Grade. Imagine I have marks. So default, I can just enter whatever the value that I have to enter. What will happen for each and every student? So this value will be present automatically. I don't have to enter. I don't have to enter this even. I don't have to enter, suppose if it is 5, I don't have to enter 5. So this, whatever the value that I give here in front of default, so by default, everybody will get 5. I don't have to enter. So that is what you have to remember. That is the advantage of default constraint. I have to use a keyword called default in front of the column, like which you want to enter the default values. That's what you have to remember. Moving on to the next one, I have foreign key constraint. What exactly these foreign key constraints are? Imagine I have 2 tables. How many tables I have? 2 tables I have. So just imagine like that. This is table number 1, table number 2, right? So here I have serial number, okay? Serial number is a primary key in table 1. Serial number is a primary key in table 1. So imagine I have M1. M1 is a primary key in T2. Suppose if I have serial number here, okay? So serial number here, it is primary key in T1, but this column will act, this primary key will act as a foreign key in some other table. I will be a citizen of this country, but if I go to some other country, I will become a foreigner. The same way here in this table, this is a primary key, but if this primary key goes to some other table, then this primary key will act as foreign key in some other table. Then how do I do that, sir? How do I do that? So please listen carefully. I will create 2 tables. So create table items. What is the first table name? Create table items. Table name is items here. In that, item number is a primary key. Item number is a primary key. So that is in the table 1. Just imagine. I have one more table. The table name is orders. The table name is orders. I want to make this as foreign key in this table. How do I do that? Please observe here. I will create all the columns, whatever of this table that I have. Then along with that, please understand, item number. I will create one more column, that is item number. Okay. So item number, the data type, whatever I want to give, I will give. But main picture starts from here. This is the keyword that you have to use to make any primary key as a foreign key. References. Which table are you referring? Because I will have multiple tables. So I want to refer this table. So what is the table name here? I have to mention items. I have to mention items. In this table, so what is the column name? That is item number. That is item number. Please observe here. Item number. Hope you got the point. So this is very important. References. Which table? In which table you are trying to give the primary key as a foreign key. So that's what you have to mention. So the table name you have to mention in that table. So what is the column name? That you have to mention. Because here you can use item number. Here you can use some different name. So for that reason, we have to mention the table as well as the column name. This is how I will be specifying the foreign key constraint, right? Moving on to the next one, not null constraint. So not null constraint. So guys, why do we give not null constraint? That I have already told you. So guys, not null constraint in the sense, this is the column name that I have, SID, this is the data type, and I am specifying not null. So this column, whatever you have, in this column you cannot leave any row empty. So guys, you cannot skip. For example, I have SID. So you cannot skip this. It cannot be empty. You have to enter the value. That is the condition we have given, not null. Right? So that is what you have to understand. That is one of the constraints that we have. So moving on to the next one. Viewing a table structure. What is the meaning of it, sir? I have a table. So in that, how many columns I have? Each column will have what data type? I mean, like what data type I can store in each column. That is what I will call it as a table structure. That is what I will call it as a table structure. Then how do I use this? I will be using a query that is describe. I'll be using a query that is describe, DESC, and I have to mention the table name. That's what you have to understand. So guys, this is very, very important to understand the structure of the table, how exactly I have my table, how many columns I have, so what data type I have, what column I have in the first, second. So complete structure if you want to understand. So this is the command, right? Moving on to the next one, modifying the data in the table, right? Modifying the data in the table. How do I modify the data? With the help of update query. How do I write that? So guys, you have to use a keyword called update. Then after that, you have to write the table name. Then you have to use a keyword set. Which column value you need to set. So that column name you have to write after the set keyword. Then after that, the name of the column you will write. Then so you will write the value, whatever you want to write, or you can also use the expression here. You can also write the expression, or directly you can place the value, you can assign the value. But you have specified the value where exactly, in which column you have to update, but which row you have not specified. You have specified which column, but where exactly in that column, in which row. So that is what you will specify with the help of where condition. So guys, I have some example for all of you. So please observe here. I'm using a keyword called update. EMP is a table name that I have. Then set is a keyword. Set is a keyword. And what is this SAL? SAL is a column name. SAL is a column name. So guys, so this is the expression that I have, salary into 1.1. So this value will get updated to this column, but I have not specified which column. Is it? Have I specified which column? Yes, I have specified the column name, but which row? I have not yet specified. I have specified in the where clause. Please observe here, where department number is equal to 10. Where department number is equal to 10. Please update all the value. This is how I update the value. So guys, moving on to the next one, delete command. So delete command will help me to delete the data that I have in the table. What is that? Delete command will help me to delete the data that I have in the table. Please observe that. Please observe my words, everybody. I will be able to delete the data that I have in the table. So let's have a look. What is the syntax for the delete? So I will be using a keyword that is delete. From where are you deleting? So please use a keyword that is from, and then you have to mention the table name. You have to mention the table name. So, and also you have the where condition. You can also give condition. You can specify from which row you have to delete. So let's have a quick look how exactly I'm working with the delete. So guys, delete from, I'm mentioning the table name where salary is less than 2000. Where salary is less than 2000. So all that rows will be deleted. The rows which satisfy this condition will be deleted from this table is what you have to understand. If I want to delete all the rows, whatever I have in the table, I'll just give delete from EMP. That's it. The entire rows, whatever that I have in the delete, will be deleted. So that's what you have to understand. The next one that I have is alter. Suppose if I want to change the structure of the table. During the creation of the table, imagine, I'll go back. Please observe here. How many columns I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've created the table with 5 columns, but I have missed out with one of the column. I want to add that column. So am I modifying the data or structure? Yes, I am modifying the structure of the table. If you want to modify the structure of the table, so guys, you will be using the alter command. If you want to modify the data of the table, you will be using the update command. Please observe this. So guys, how do I alter my table? How do I change the structure of the table? So with the help of alter table command. So guys, this is the syntax for all of you. So please observe here, I have the keyword that is alter. What do you want to alter? I want to alter the table. So then which table? You have to mention the table name, that is EMP1. And then I have modify. So I have the job already. So guys, I want to modify that. I want to do some changes to that. So I've given job char 30. Suppose if I want to add one more column. So how do I do that? Please observe, I'll be writing alter. I'll be writing alter table. Then after that, what is that I have to write? Table name. What is the table name? EMP1. Then after that, I'll be using a keyword that is add, open parenthesis. Let's imagine I want to add a column called age varchar. I have to mention the data type of this column varchar 30, and then I will close it. So this is how I will add a new column, guys. So this is the use of alter command, right? So moving on to the next one, dropping the table. What exactly the meaning of dropping the table? Can you all tell me? Yes. So we have discussed something called delete, and there is something called drop. So please understand the meaning of both the commands. Delete will delete the data which I have in the table. Drop will remove the structure of the table. What exactly it means? Imagine I have a building in one side, right? If I perform delete operation, whatever I have inside that building, I will remove it outside. I just have only the building. Can I construct the building in the same place? No, because already the building is there. Suppose if I perform drop operation, I'll be demolishing everything what I have in my place. That is drop. delete, I will just remove whatever I have inside the building. But drop, it will demolish everything. So the building is a structure. Building is a structure here. So if I perform delete, only the data will go. If I perform drop, everything including the structure will go. So suppose if I perform delete operation and if I want to create the table in the same name which I have already, but it will not allow me to create that table. So that's what you have to remember. If you want to create the table in the same name with the different structure, you have to drop the table first and then you have to create it. So what is the syntax? So guys, drop table, table name. Drop table is a keyword, table name you have to specify. So that is the syntax that you have to remember. Moving on to the next one that I have. So SQL joins. Joins in the sense, in your database you will be able to join two different tables in different forms. So what are the different forms of joins that we have? So we have inner join, left join, right join, and also we have equi-join and natural join, and also we have Cartesian join. So these are all the different types of joins that we have. What is the meaning of it, sir? I have two different tables. I will be able to join two different tables, so in different way. Suppose if it is a inner join, I have table number 1 and table number 2. So in this table, what is the column common values? So only that it will take. That is what I will call it as a inner join. That is what I will take. It will consider only the common values. Please observe here. It returns the rows when there is a match in both the sides. Only the common values, whatever you have, so only that it will be returning to you. So that's what we call it as the inner join. What is this left join? Even if there is no matching rows from the left side table, the entire table will be given to you. That's what you have to call it as a left join. Please understand, it returns all the rows from the left table. It returns all the rows from the left side table. So what is the meaning of left side table, right side table? So let us consider this is two table. This is right side table, this is left side and right side table. So left join in the sense what? All the rows from the left side table. All the rows from the left side table, even if there is no match in the right side table. That's what you have to understand. What is right join? Opposite to the left join. It will return all the rows from the right side even if there is no match in the left side table. That's what you have to understand. Equi-join joins two or more table based on the condition using equality operator. Based on this condition, it will join two or more tables. That's what you have to understand. What's the next one we have? We have the natural join. Imagine we are using this to join to the table to itself. We are using this join to table to itself. That's what you have to understand. Whenever we are doing like that, we will be using this natural join. We'll be using this natural join, and also we will be using this natural join. Then after that, we will be renaming it temporarily. We'll be renaming it temporarily renaming at least one table in the SQL statement. That's what you have to understand. The last one that we have is Cartesian product. Cartesian product in this is you will be multiplying each value with each value of two different tables. That's what you have to understand. So guys, it returns the Cartesian product of the set of records from two or more joins tables. What exactly it means, Cartesian product? Imagine I have table, right? I have table. So Cartesian product in the sense whatever the value that I have here, so it will multiply with this. So it will multiply from each value of the other table. So whatever the resultant will come, that is the outcome of Cartesian product. That's what you have to remember. So that will be the resultant after performing the Cartesian join. So this is the different types of joins that you have. So what are the different types of joins you have? Just remember, so inner join, right join, left join, and also you have equi-join, natural join, and Cartesian join. So total number of joins is 6. So please remember that. Moving on to the next one, indexes in database. So guys, you all know how exactly index will work. Suppose if I have a book, I will have an index page. So what is the use of index page? So guys, it is very easy for me to access my content. It exactly works like a metadata. Data about the data. Using this index page data, I will be accessing the data what I have inside. So it will help me to access my data a little faster. That is the use of indexes that I have in the database. I will be creating this index at the time of creation of the table. So that's what you have to remember. So that is the one of the advantages that we have if we use the index. So it will help me to create, or it will help me to access the data directly. So that is one of the advantages that we have if I use the index. So by this, I have come to an end of this chapter. So guys, I'll be coming up with the next interesting chapter. Till then, take care of your health. See you. Bye bye.